Hey, CRI 704. I just want to catch up with you after your week one. Congratulations on finishing that off. As you can see, I am clean shaven, and so I'm happy to be kind of done with our beardathon. Those of you who saw that I had this nasty beard last week in the opening video. But yeah, so just kind of to recap last week, you guys had an opportunity to read the first four chapters of Ron and Roxanne's book. Hope that was just insightful and helpful information. There's some stuff in there that I've used in a lot of different environments, respect agreements, talking about the four options, looking at unmanaged conflict cycles, those kinds of things. Use those things on a weekly basis in a lot of different environments. And so hopefully those were helpful for you as you think about your context and how some of that stuff might apply as you move forward. Also, Howard Zer's Changing Lenses, reading a chapter from that. That's a really foundational book when it comes to just restorative justice as a whole, and just pushes on some interesting paradigms. And so I hope it made you think and wrestle with some things when it comes to not only just life and school context, but also other contexts of your life, what it means to live restoratively and in a lot of different areas. The other thing too, I was just encouraged to see how you were wrestling with how those principles apply to not just the classroom, but also other areas of your life. Some of you, in your reflections, were talking about family and just other relationships, not necessarily just classroom relationships, which is great. So I hope you can find that these principles you're learning aren't just for the classroom setting as you move forward. So a couple things I saw that were really positive about your forum posts for this first week. One is that you were relating things to life. It's not just about theory that's in a book, but how it's the interaction between that theory and the values that you hold, and then how that starts to play out in environments and contexts. So could keep relating the content back to you. We want you to process from the inside out, from kind of the heart level to the hands level to the the mind level. And so the other thing that was really positive were in your forum post, as you were replying to one another, you were asking each other questions. You were adding value to in your responses, not just summarizing each other, but saying, "Well, hey, that actually sparks this for me, and have you thought of this?" And then there was some good interaction to those. I would encourage you to keep that going. Also, you guys did a great job of being thorough in your answering the prompts. Most of you got full credit on a lot of what you did, and that was because you answered the questions thoroughly. You addressed everything that was there. You interacted with the reading material and then brought that into your post. And I could tell that you read and can tell that you interacted with it. And so good job on that. And I would just encourage you to keep going with that. Some suggestions, just make sure that you follow the instructions on the forums. They're there for a reason. They're going to help you structure whatever your post is or your paper. Make sure it's clear. Also, make sure you use paragraphs or headers. If it's just one long big chunk of writing, that's not a helpful for formatting. And so just make sure you're clearly formatting things and citing things properly as you're citing the reading. Also, make sure that you can show me that what you've read, that you can relate it to your circumstances, that it's not just an opinion paper. And so that whole goes back to the reading. So everything that you're doing is going to relate to either an activity or the reading. Make sure that you, in your forum posts, relate back to that, or it's just something that you could have done without even doing the reading or even doing the assessment or whatever it may be that the thing asked you to do. And then make sure that your responses to other people are just, again, not just a summarization of what they said, but they're adding value in multiple ways, either asking good questions, and then maybe saying, well, and that sparked this in me and made me think of this context as well. And so make sure you're adding to what's already been said and furthering that discussion. If you received kind of a 12 or a 13 on one of your posts that's maybe out of 15, it may have been there that like you started in a good direction, you were answering the questions, but it was just very minimal, the amount of analysis or the amount of thought that went into it. And so that probably just means there's a little more meat that needs to go on those bones. If you got it lower than that, it probably meant that I either thought that you maybe didn't do the reading and it didn't show a good sense of analysis at all, or didn't answer the questions that were asked clearly. And so just some heads up if you receive some lower grades on those prompts. Next week, you've got, or this coming week right now, you've got some things that are really practical. You've got an iMessages activity, super helpful. Encourage you to practice it. It's a great way of asking for things that you that you feel you want to, but in a very hearable way. And then an active listening, which we all go, oh, we can all listen, but listening is very challenging and is a real gift to give to people. So I hope that exercise is helpful. And then you've got some principal interviews to do. And so, again, lean into those. You're going to get the opportunity to ask questions you wouldn't normally get to ask to someone who's in a position that they wrestle with this stuff on a daily basis, how to walk through these things. So I hope those are really valuable for you. So again, blessings on the work that you're doing. Hope that you're finding it to be meaningful. And if you have any questions, let me know. As it comes along, just shoot me an email, and we'll go from there. All right, we'll connect with you soon.